Look at this thing. It doesn't have glowing neon lines. It doesn't have anime girls painted on the side. It looks like a piece of luggage that survived the world tour in the 70s. If you put this next to a modern Counter-Strike 2 skin, most new players would call it ugly. But those new players don't know the math, they don't know the history, and they definitely don't know that this ugly Suitcase is currently selling for over 1200 in factory new. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Back in my day, an AK-47 was just a tool made of stamped steel and cheap wood. But in 2026, the AK platform has become ultimate digital collector's asset. Today we are taking a look into one of the most prestigious story-driven skins in Counter-Strike history, the AK-47 Jet Set. We are going to break down why its supply is permanently locked and how this old-school relic became deflationary blue-chip investment. So let's get into it. To understand why the Jet Set is so expensive, we have to travel back to July 1st, 2014. Valve dropped the baggage collection, and the Jet Set was crown jewel. In fact, it was the only classified item in the entire collection. Unlike modern skins that come from weapon cases, which can theoretically be opened forever, the Jet Set is a discontinued map drop. Its supply is capped to that specific era of the game. It is completely isolated from the inflation that hits normal case skins. Because it hasn't dropped in over a decade, it is considered a narrative-driven heirloom. It is not just mass-market commodity, it's a piece of history, and Valve designed it to look exactly like one. From a design perspective, the Jet Set is totally unique. Instead of traditional military camo, it uses Traveler's aesthetic. The metal receiver is left raw and unpainted, covered in chaotic collage of souvenir Traveler stickers from places like London and New York. It is basically a passport stamped onto an assault rifle, but the real kicker is the furniture. The traditional wood handguard and stock are wrapped in thick brown leather. When the game transitioned to the Source 2 engine, the Jet Set received a massive silent buff. Thanks to physically based rendering, the leather now has micro-displacement textures. It actually looks and reacts to the light like real animal hide. The raw metal receiver reflects the map environment in real time. But my favorite part: Valve kept the old legacy model for the geometry. It's a baggage of authenticity. Even if Valve remade this collection tomorrow using the new high polo AK models, the 2014 first edition would remain totally distinct. The Jet Set is famous specifically because it behaves more like a patina or brightness skin than a typical custom paint job. Here is the actual breakdown of how it wears. No scratches or abrasions. Unlike almost every other custom paint job skin, the Jet Set does not develop scratches, chips or shredded metal textures, even at the highest battle-scarred float values. Color transformation. Instead of losing paint, the entire weapon body, including the magazine, undergoes a darkening effect. The bright tan leather of the handguard and stock turns into deep dark brown. Sticker fading. The colorful souvenir stickers on the body do not peel off due to wear. Instead, they lose their saturation and appear muted or faded at high floats. And magazine condition. The magazine remains covered by sticker page texture at all float levels. It will turn noticeably darker and look grimy. So the supply is locked because of the drop stop a decade ago, but it gets even crazier when you look at the trade-up math. A lot of people think rare skins are constantly disappearing from the market because rich players use them as fillers in high-tier trade-up contracts. But the Jet Set is completely immune to this, because it is trade-up dead end. The Jet Set is the only classified pink skin in the baggage collection, and there are absolutely zero covert skins above it. It cannot be used as a filler. It cannot be burned. Once a Jet Set exists, it's basically immortal. But while the supply isn't shrinking, it isn't also growing. To craft a new Jet Set, you have to use restricted purple inputs from the baggage collection, specifically the Desert Eagle Pilot or AK-47 First Class. But because both weapons are also incredibly rare and expensive, crafting a new Jet Set is basically economic suicide. This creates the ultimate stagnant supply. The Jet Sets we have right now are basically all we are ever gonna get. They are trapped in the ecosystem forever, moving from high net worth collector's inventory to another. It is not just skin, it's closed loop economy. Because of its chaotic looks, the Jet Set is arguably the premier canvas skin in Counter-Strike history. Most expensive stickers ruin the artwork of modern skins, but on the Jet Set, they just look like another passport stamp. The introduction of free-form sticker placement in CS2 raised the skill ceiling for crafters. The final boss of this category is the legendary 4x Fox Seminar Katowice 2014 holocraft, or even 5 can now be applied if you are extra rich. We are talking about a piece of digital provenance valued at over 100,000, but you don't need 100 grand to make this gun look amazing. The community has perfected the Bone Beast scraping technique. Players take cheap stickers like First Blood or Stalker Prey and scrape them down until the color disappears and the only white coast outline remains. When you apply these stickers, scraped outlines onto the dark, battle-scarred black leather versions, it creates a custom high-demand aesthetic that looks absolutely incredible. The AK-47 Jet Set has successfully navigated over a decade of market volatility. It survived Source 2 engine transition, it survived the death of the map drop system, and it survives the daily slaughter of the high-tier trade-up economy. It demonstrates a massive scarcity trap. Because it doesn't get used by many pro players on the big stage, the casual community often forget it exists. But the vets know. The long-term holders know. It is a true blue-chip asset. It's a financial instrument that values the story of a veteran traveler over the sterile plastic perfection of a modern factory line. What do you guys think? Is the AK-47 Jet Set a masterpiece of old-school design, or is it just an overpriced suitcase? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. Bye.